the Hantavirus that seems to be all the rage now in the scientific community. You know, unfortunately, with what we've all gone through 6 years ago, it's hard to believe or even trust what anybody's saying. And that's the unfortunate thing, right? Obviously, it's going to be a deadly virus, especially at the onset of it. Just like corona, just like a lot of other viruses, when it enters into the human population, it's very effective at doing what it does. But then that kind of really drops off steeply within certain transmissions that occur from human to human as it replicates. I'm not going to explain this like I'm some sort of virologist. The thing is that at the end of the day, we've seen this kind of stuff before. Right now, its stats are pretty terrible that if you contact it, you have a 50-50 chance of surviving. But I'm sure that's going to steeply drop as it replicates more. Now, the bigger concerns here is how we address these issues. Because at the end of the day, if these global organizations, let's say health organizations, are aware that something of this nature occurred on a cruise ship, why in the world would you possibly allow any of these people that could possibly be contaminated to travel till you've contained them to see what happens with them? What are we paying all these taxes for or sending money to these places that can't even do logistics, like basic organization? That's why it's hard to trust any of this, right? We just had Israel confirm that they had the first, for sure, Hantavirus case occurring in a human. They just announced it. Now, I don't know if that goes back to a couple of days, but it seemed to be something very new that was just announced. With that said, a lot of people are already attacking each other. There's a lot of people on the left saying, a normal person would say, oh, let's get a vaccine to deal with this. And then an anti-vaccinist would say, I'm not getting any of this at any point. Now, see, this is the problem. This is what our politicians and this world has done. It's created these emotional catastrophes in each one of us where we can't make reasonable decisions. Now, another important note. In the vaccine for the coronavirus, there have been reports that state that a side effect could be the hantavirus. Now, that's hard to believe. It's something that's going on. It could be something that's out there like misinformation, that's seeing who attaches it to it. But at the end of the day, the problem is we can no longer trust the people that are in charge because they can't do anything efficiently and truthfully. And that's the worst part. Because as humans, we have social relations, and there's a social, let's say, hierarchy in trust that we put in certain individuals. And because of what happened 6 years ago, it eroded a lot of trust in people that look at this stuff rationally. I agree. It's amazing what science and pharmacology and virology has all been able to do. But unfortunately, when you lie and you misinform people on such a large scale and you lead people down this path, not even talking about the side effects of being vaccine injured and ignoring it and not being allowed to talk about it, it creates issues that once we really do get to a terrible pandemic that doesn't have a fall off rate, that attacks human beings at a terrible rate, nobody's going to believe it because for some reason, one side of the spectrum has been screaming that the sky has been falling for so long that everybody else just doesn't listen to it anymore.